So, we're going to be in your note packet, but we're actually going to start, I think, on the very back. If you flip it all the way over, if you take your unopened note packet and you flip it over, there's a blank sheet. Okay? There's a reason for that blank sheet, because we're going to do two problems that aren't in your notes today to start for warm-up. Okay? Notes today, I'm going to hopefully clear up a lot of the things that deal with from the video that you guys were supposed to have on, or that you were supposed to watch on Tuesday. Very disappointed in the number of people that actually watched that video, because we can see how many people watched the video. We can see who watched it, who didn't watch it. Okay? Right? So there's 320 Math 1 students. How many people watched it on Tuesday? Like 40? That was the first look. Our first look was at 40. We were at 40 people that watched it. And that was at 4 o'clock. That's not good. Okay? There's a reason why yesterday I said I'm not accepting these homeworks, because I know that you didn't watch it. Okay? I know that. Okay? And because I can see in your homework that you just decided to make some stuff up. Okay? Unfortunately, when we have virtual days like that, our expectation is that you watch what we have there, because that's going to help you the next day. Okay? So, not mad, disappointed. Okay? Then I want to get back your quizzes from yesterday, too. Okay? So, here we go. So, these are not in the packet, so you can use the back side of that to do these two problems. Okay? So, what I would like you to do is, in both of them, I want you to find me X, and I want you to find me Y. Okay? It is going to help to draw the picture. Go. What do you know about this red triangle? What do you got, Anna?
Like add up all the angles, it'll be 180.
You have some of the three angles are 180, right? Because that happens in every single triangle ever imagined, right? Yep, exactly. Okay, so that means that 23 plus 67 plus this angle right here, we'll call it the dot angle. I'm going to call it. Well, actually, hold on. Let's call it A. Is 180 degrees. Okay? So that means that 90 plus A is 180 degrees, correct? So what does that mean? So what does that mean? A is 90, right? Okay. What do you know about this blue angle here and this blue angle there? Why? Because they're what? They're vertical angles. Yep, exactly. They're vertical angles so that they're congruent. So what does that mean? For which one? Transversal? Yeah, that's only if the two outside ones were parallel, but they're not. Yeah, but I like where your head was at, though. Okay, so what does that mean? Y is 90. Okay, so that was half of our answer, right? We had to find X and we had to find Y. So that means that Y here is 90. Okay. Now, what can you tell me about this green triangle? The three angles would also add up to be 180. Okay. So that would be 90 plus 41 plus x would equal 180. Or 131 plus x would equal 180. So what does that mean? Okay. So what does that mean? 49? What can you tell me about these blue angles in number 2? What does that mean? What does that mean? So what does that mean? They're So what does that mean? Put it in terms that I would even understand. They're what? Nope. They don't add to me anything. They're what? They're equal. So if they're equal angles, nobody said it. That's not equal. That's more than equals. Okay? All right? So if they're equal, what can I say? I can say that the angle, so this angle was 3x plus 20. This angle was 5x minus 50. So that means I can say that 3x plus 20 equals 5x minus 50. Okay? Which way do you want to go with the x's? Left or right? Left? Okay. So that means we're going to subtract 5x from both sides. That's going to give me negative 2x plus 20 equals negative 50. If we went left with the x's, that means we got to go right with the numbers. So we're going to subtract 20. Gives me negative 2x equals negative 70. Now what? Divided by negative 2, x is positive 35. What can you tell me about either one of those blue angles? Okay, so what are you saying? You're right, what are you saying? Okay, I thought you were saying something different. You can figure out what the angles actually are, right? Okay, all right. So what is 3 times 35 plus 20? Or what is 5 times 35 minus 50? 125 for both of them? Okay, 125 for both of them. So this is a 125 degree angle. This is a 125 degree angle. Okay. What can you tell me now about this red angle here and this, we'll say pink angle here? What can you tell me about those two angles? Because they make a straight angle, right? Okay. All right, so we can say here then that 5y plus, that one's 125, equals 180. Okay, what can we say now? Can we put whatever that is away? Thank you. Now what can we do? Subtract 125 from both sides. 5y is 55. Now what can we do? Divide both sides by 5. So y is 11. Using our angle things. Alright, let's dive in it. So now I'm going to skip the retrievals. I'm going to skip all of the retrievals. Okay, let's get right into, this is page 13 now, proving triangles are congruent. Okay, so here in letter A, we want to know if those two triangles are congruent, and if so, we need to prove it. Okay? So let's look at triangle. So the first thing that we have to write down for our proofs is always our given. So in this particular scenario, what we were given is the measure of angle A is 54 degrees. We were given the measure of angle D is 23 degrees. We are given the measure of angle E is 23 degrees, and we were given the measure of angle B is 103 degrees. All of that was given. Your very first step in all of your proofs is you write down what we gave you. Okay? Now, step number 2. I'll alternate colors just to make it easier on us. Step number 2. What is there anything that we can do, because we have the same angles in one of them, right? Which angles are equal? The 23 degrees. So which angles are those? E and D. So we can say that right off the start. We can say that angle E is congruent to angle D because they are equal. So that would be the definition of equality. Okay. We were given that they were equal. So now we can put the geometric marks over them. Do I have anything else that I can say is congruent? No? Okay, we don't have any other angles that are congruent. Okay? So I only have one angle. What are my 5 ways to prove that a triangle, or that 2 triangles are congruent? Side angle side is one of them. What was that? Side angle is not one, because that's with your A double crooked letter. Side is one of them. That's one she said. Angle side angle is what, as I heard, right? Yeah. And then angle side. Okay, there's one more. Those are the answers. Those aren't all of them. What? Hypotenuse leg is the other one. Yep. But hypotenuse leg only works in right triangles. Okay? All right? So, can I figure out what angle C is? Yeah. Okay. What is angle C? So we can say over here then that the measure of angle C is 103 degrees. Okay? And we're going to say that because of the triangle sum theorem. Because that's what we use to find it. We use the triangle sum theorem. The sum of the three angles is 180 degrees. Okay? For everything that we say, we've got to have a reason. And the reason is what we use to say that. With me on that? Okay? So we use the triangle sum theorem here in green to say that measure of angle C was 103 degrees. Right? Okay? All right. Now what can I say? Okay. We have to figure it out, right? Okay. So I could say that as part of step number 3 also, right? Because we use the same reasoning. Yes? Okay. So now what can I say? What? What you got, Nuna? Angle J is congruent to angle A. Yes, I was looking at B. Okay. Yes, angle J is congruent to angle A. What would be my reasoning? What would be my reasoning for that? Yep. So what's my reasoning? Because they're not the same angle because they don't have the same name. What would be my reasoning? Might already be on the board. Nope, it's not given. Definition of equality. We already used it. We used it in number 2. Anything else that I can say in that same step with the same reason? Nope. Good. Angle C is congruent to angle B. So we said that J was congruent to A, and that C was congruent to B. Okay. What's up? Okay, go for it.
Angle D is congruent to angle E.
We already said that in step number 2. In red. That was from the beginning. Okay. So let's go back over our 5 things that we need to prove a triangle, right? And what were they again? Side, side, side. Angle, angle, side. Side, angle, side. Angle, side, angle. Hypotenuse, leg. Okay? Are any of the, what do we have right now? We got angle, 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 right? Are any of those on that list? No. Do I have any way to prove that a side is congruent to this one? No? So we're done. Can't prove it. Can't prove it. Not no solution. Can't prove it. We're not solving anything. We're proving. Okay? Alright? Let's try one that actually works now. We need to prove that triangle DCE is congruent to triangle JKL. Okay? What's the first thing that we're going to start with in every single proof? The given. Okay? Your first reason for everything is going to be given. All right? What is given? Side KJ is 8.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Yep. And that's the problem with proof. You cannot jump ahead. You gotta say it before you can say it, if you know what I mean. LK is okay. Anything else? Okay. Anything that we can say from that?
Angle K, or not angle, side KJ is equal to side CD.
Can I go even more than equals? I could go congruent, right? Okay. So we could go side KJ, you said. Oops, I put a vector on top. And you said CD, excuse me?
Yes.
You could also say definition of congruence there too. Okay. That would also work there. Okay. All right, so we can put our geometric marks on there. Now what? What are you thinking now? We're going to have to solve for something because we got nothing else, right?
Yeah.
Okay? So we're going to have to solve for something. Because we have right triangles, what other tool has been open to us? Pythagorean theorem. Do we want to work Pythagorean theorem on the left triangle or the right triangle? Left triangle, okay? All right. So I'm going to call this side C, just because. So then this would say that 6 squared plus 8 squared is C squared. Yes? 6 squared is? 8 squared is? 64 plus 36 is? I want to know what C is. What do I got to do? Square root both sides. What is the square root of 100? So we can say then over here that side CE is equal to 10, right? And what is my reasoning for that? Pythagorean theorem. Now what can we say?
Side C is congruent to side KL.
Why?
Wait, would that be L?
Nope, it would be KL, because if we go up here, CE, KL. Definition of equality or definition of congruence? Up there, no. Okay, we can make our marks now. Do I have enough? What? No, we don't. Well, yes, no, we don't have. Right now we have angle side, side. Do I have enough? What if I said this? Can I say this? Triangle DCE and triangle JKL are right triangles. Can I say that? What's my reasoning for that? Not definition of equality. The definition of something. The definition of a right triangle. Right? Right triangle has to have an angle in it that is equal to 90, right? We had two angles that were equal to 90 degrees. We now labeled them right triangles. Now what can I say? So what can I say? I do not have side angle side. I got what? I got hypotenuse leg. So now I can say that triangle DCE is congruent to triangle JKL. Oops. This should have been a 5. By hypotenuse leg. So yes, the triangles are congruent, and hypotenuse leg is what we use. Could have we gone a different way in step 5? What could have we done? We could have used Pythagorean theorem on the right triangle and found that LJ was 6, right? Then what would have my rationale been? Then it would have been side, 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 because I would have had sides. I would have had to say that we would have had to say here in step 3 that LJ was 6, again by Pythagorean theorem. Step 5 or step 4, we would have had to say that LJ is congruent to ED, and then we would have had side, side, side. Okay? If you're gonna use it in something, you have to have said it already. It can't just be, yep, it looks that way, yep, this is what it is. And you have to have said it beforehand. 2-column proofs are everything that's going on in between your ears written down on paper. Okay? You can't skip anything. You can't say, I was thinking it, it was in my head. I did it in my head. You don't have that luxury in a 2-column proof. Everything that you think has to go on paper. Okay? That's what proofs are all about. You have to show everything. Okay? LMN is congruent to ONM. Okay? First thing we need is we need our given. What do we have that is given?
L, M, O are equal.
Can we go even more? Because it's the geometric mark, right? So can I say that segment LM is congruent to segment ON? To the OM? Oops, I got them all wrong. Hold on 1 second. I was so confused too. Segment LN is congruent to segment OM. Okay. Anything else that we're given?
Angle N is congruent to angle
I see. Which angle are you talking about?
N and M. Wait, I'm confused now.
I am too, because there's 3 angles at both of those. There's 3 angles at N and there's 3 angles at M. What do you got? It better start with angle. Give me the angle. MNO. MNO is one of them. Is congruent to angle. You said M
No, wait, sorry.
N O. So that was this one, is what you just told me. NML.
Yeah.
What do you got?
So the line in the middle, would that count for both of them and congruent automatically?
To it, to what? What would it be congruent to?
And
But what would it be congruent to? You know what I mean? If you're going to tell me that it's congruent, it's got to be congruent to something. What is NM congruent to? Itself, right?
yeah, it's
What do we call that? Nope. Anybody remember what we call it? I mentioned it only once, so I wouldn't expect you to remember. It's an R one, yeah? What? Somebody said it. Reflexive. Yep, that's the reflexive property. Can we get anything else? Can we get anything else? No, right? Okay. So what do we have? What do we got? We got side-side angle, right? Okay. Is that on our list of 5? No, right? Yeah. Because the list of 5 again was what? Side, side, side. Angle, angle, side. Hypotenuse, leg. Side, angle, side. Angle, side, angle. Okay? You gotta know those 5. Okay? They're on your sheet. Okay? But it's quicker if you just memorize them. Those are the only 5 ways to prove that 2 triangles are congruent. So if it's not on one of those lists, Because right now, we've got in this order, I'll go in red here, in this order, we've got an angle, a side, and a side. Okay? In one triangle, and then an angle, a side, and a side in the other triangle. Okay? In that order. We don't have a side angle side, we don't have an angle side angle, we don't have side side side, so we can't prove those triangles are congruent. Okay? You now prove to me that sig is congruent to mag. Go. That should be everybody's first step. Somebody give me step number 2. What was that? There's infinite amount of angles at angle G. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I see 15 angles at angle G. So you can't say angle G is congruent to angle G, because I ain't got no idea what you're talking about.
Angle IGS is congruent to angle MGA.
Why?
Vertical angles.
Somebody give me step 3. Oops, let me put the marks on there. That was green. So we said that this angle was congruent to that angle. Somebody give me step 3. Why? Angle side angle. We have 2 angles and the side that's in between. That's angle side angle. The only way that you're going to get better at this is by doing these. Okay? You will not get better at these by not doing them. If you skip them in your homework and just say, I don't get it, I don't understand it, you will not get any better doing it that way. If you are still struggling, you need to get into the resource center or utilize the time when I'm done teaching every class to ask questions. Okay? Alright? I'm going to hand back your quizzes and anything else that I have right now, and then you can start working on the 7-4 homework.